But this is topic number 8 right here, 8 of 12. Very, very popular film on Netflix right now. I hope both of y'all have seen it,
Oh
because if
boy.
not, you're missing out.
Oh
But
boy.
that's with The Harder They Fall.
Oh
And
yeah.
I have this report right here from Revolt. And it says The Harder They Fall director explains why the N-word wasn't used in the movie's script. And excuse me,
Why?
to be honest with you, that's something I didn't even notice until I came across this article. So that's interesting right there. But if you're watching this via live or on the replay, there's a link down to this article down in the description box for you to read at your own leisure. And it goes on to say, just because it's a period piece, stop calling us niggas. Director Jeymes Samuel told Essence, and that is Jeymes Samuel to the right and Jay-Z to the left. The Harder They Fall, the Jay-Z produced Black Western, was released in theaters and on Netflix Wednesday, November 3rd, and is getting rave reviews. The movie, which features Regina King as the treacherous Trudy and Idris Elba as Rufus Buck, is a period piece that details a fictional encounter by real Black cowboys who actually existed. In a recent interview with Essence, director Jeymes Samuel explained why he chose not to have characters say nigga in the film. Just because it's a period piece, stop calling us niggas, Samuel told Outlet. It doesn't give you license to call us niggas 100 times. Just because the word takes place in the 1800s shouldn't give you license to make a woman subservient. When Nat Love says to Trudy Smith, where's your boss? She goes, boss? Ain't no subservience in this film. We're kings and queens on horseback. The director, who came up with the idea of the film over a decade ago, said despite Hollywood's negative portrayals of darker-skinned Black people, he never played into complexionism.
What?
Larry.
What? Zaza Beats, Stagecoach Mary. What?
I'm gonna come to you, but Larry, I'm gonna come to Larry first. Larry, what do you make of these comments? What do you think about him not wanting to use the N-word in his film, The Harder They Fall?
Well, my first thought when I saw this, because you sent this out to us earlier, my first thought was, why does he need to explain why he's not using this word? Like, why is this a conversation? Why is this even an article?
Right.
Why do you have to go and explain why you're not using this word? That's the idea that this word wasn't used, and therefore someone needs to come and ask him, wait a minute, why didn't you use this word? I mean, it seems it's clearly the dude's up there just bitch slapping Quentin Tarantino all over this, all over his quotes, talking about you don't have to use the word niggas 100 times, because I think it was with the Hateful Eight or whatever it was that somebody counted it. It was some
Django,
huh?
I think it was Django. Or
no, I'm thinking of the other one, the one with they all met up in that
cavern,
that saloon in the middle of that snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they counted it. It was like, I forgot, it was like a couple hundred times or something they had used it. And it was just, it was obscene. And it was so bad that people took notice of how many times the word was used. And anyways, it was just the idea that a filmmaker has to sit there and try to explain why that question's even asked. It's really sort of a sad commentary of our society and the way things are. But I hope that more Black folks that are writers look at this and recognize you don't have to use that word to have a good story or to have good dialogue, to emphasize your points. You don't need that. I mean, I was just driving home today. I went to go get something to eat, and I was driving home. And I was listening to Rakim on the way home, and I was like, Rakim is one of the flyest lyricists on the planet, never cursed in his music, never used the N-word. And people always think of Rakim as one of the hardest dudes on the planet, never cursed in his music. You can play all his songs on Kiss FM if you want to, because it's all radio friendly, you know? But dude, story, you don't have to use that language. You just don't have to.
All right, well, before I come to you, Lamont, I just want to keep reading a little bit. Black people in the Old West, we never been in the Old West and for a technicolor swag. Not like this. Obviously, we've been portrayals of Black people in Old Western cinema before, but not like this. So without retreading any other musical tropes, I needed to make a statement musically. He continued, this is Jay-Z talking. I realized that Dub, which I grew up on, my parents on the West Indian African. No, actually, this is still the director. All that even West African music like Fila is very cowboy in its aesthetic. So I got Barrington Levy to sing out the actual score, then call Fisk Jubilee singers from Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee. But yeah, what do you make about all this, Lamont? I know you just spoke about the Zazie Beetz thing and he said complexionism, but what are your thoughts, sir?
I'm offended that this is brought up too, just simply because you said it best, B. Avery. You didn't even think about the word being used because the movie was so good. So why are y'all going back asking this band about the N-word when the movie rocked? It didn't need to be in the movie. The movie had great substance. The swag in the movie was great. The soundtrack was great. The score, excuse me. It didn't need it. And
yeah,
maybe he was replying to what someone asked him, but I would love to know what was your motivation in asking why we need to use the N-word in something that didn't even need it.
Let me make sure I understand what y'all are saying. Are y'all more frustrated with him, the director, or the interviewer?
I'm frustrated with the interviewer.
Okay.
I'm perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, I will say this. For the director to have that stance and to still have a hit movie shows just how creative he is. Because oftentimes people use cuss words, derogatory statements as a way to provide entertainment to whatever you're doing in your content. He didn't have to do any of that and still put out an instant classic banger. Now, the only thing I take opposition to was the colorism part. You know that you looked up what some of these people looked like back in the day. And Stagecoach Mary was definitely more of my complexion than Zazie Beetz. Having said that, he did make sure he included every chocolate post-Nino Brown Negro he could find.
Right.
So maybe that's where the balance was at.
And that's actually the next topic right there. So that is a good segue.
Okay.
You talked about Zazie Beetz. This is literally the next topic.